And again, thank you for joining us from Ohio.
Yeah, it's
I
cold
can't
here.
believe, I can't believe it's been 12 years since we've seen each other, but it's always a pleasure doing some great things. And we're recording this for our entrepreneurship class here at Velma Jackson High School, and also for our friends at Ridgeland High School and Germantown High School, and for our YouTube channel. So it's a great plug for you as well. And we've looked at your website, lovingmehealthy.com.
Yes.
Very interesting, cool idea, cool concept. Obviously, it's something you're really good at, something you have you got your degree in at Austin P. So
hmm
I'll let you tell us all about it and how you got to where you are.
Oh, it's been a journey for sure, and it's been ever evolving. But yeah, so I went to Austin P as an undergrad. There, I was major in exercise science, so I studied a lot about exercise and fitness. I was also a student athlete there, so I ran track and cross country, worked out every day. And so the original goal was to get into physical therapy. And so that's kind of where my exercise science came into play. I wanted to be immersed in the whole fitness health industry. So I worked at the rec center. That's how I met you. And I worked, yeah, and just immersed myself. Graduated. I didn't get into PT school, but that's okay. I had other plans. Moved to Nashville, and I got myself into the healthcare industry, which you're sitting at a desk working a desk job, and I'm a very active person, so that wasn't like my jam at all. So I decided to go back to school, and I went to Lipscomb University, received a master's in exercise nutrition science, more focused on nutrition, and I landed a job at a nonprofit there in Nashville. It's a residential facility for women, so it's more of a holistic program, but I just did their fitness and nutrition program. And so we had 40 residents at one time, and I had to help manage all of their health, I guess, related issues. And so I've got a lot of experience with several different types of issues. It could be anywhere from addiction, uh, eating disorders, pregnancies, you name it. I saw diabetes. And so I got a lot of hands on experience. And I just thought that at the age of 24, I landed a dream job, and I was like, this can't be it. And so just dreaming, allowing myself to dream. I ended up going to get another like 12-month certification for more of a holistic integrative nutrition approach. And that's kind of where Love Me Healthy came from. It's in general, it started as an overall wellness business. So I did a lot of health coaching, worked one-on-one with clients, with teenagers, with young women, basically women. I didn't see a lot of men, but my niche was around women, around my age, probably like, I would say 18 to about 40. And I did that for a while. And then it kind of evolved a little bit more, and I started to get into more of a wellness aspect of it. And I included essential oils and yoga, taught a lot of in-person classes, did a lot of vending shows just to make it a more well-rounded business. And then COVID hit. So as a lot of small business owners needed to do is pivot their business because we couldn't get in front of people. And so that's where I decided to go more online approach and be a more online presence. And so, I mean, it's still evolving now. Now I'm pregnant, it's kind of slowed down, but it's making me even pivot even more because I want to build more of a program where I don't have to demonstrate or be one-on-one. I want more of an online program where it's self-served. People can take at their own pace. Still offer a lot of live one-on-one coaching calls, things like that. But I don't want to work a 9 to 5 for myself either. So residual income, I need to get that going. So that's kind of where I am now. I'm in this whole business process.
Yeah, and that's awesome that one, you know your target market. We have so many business owners that join us and they get confused about who they're trying to sell to. But for what it sounds like, you knew your niche immediately and you geared your business to reach that niche. Now, that doesn't mean you turn away the other market, but you know your
Correct.
target market and you really focus on knowing their needs and of your clientele. And that's so important. And then the other thing you talked about that we've talked about in class and we've had other business owners tell us is that you gained a lot of experience in your field before you went out on your own. So, because you see people open a restaurant because they like to eat and they don't know anything about the industry. You see people open a gym because they like to work out, but they don't know anything about the industry. So how important is it to have that background when you start a business like you had of years of experience and then you're out on your own? How much has that helped you?
Oh, tremendously. Absolutely. I would feel like I would know anything just because everybody's different. You're going to come across different people, different issues, and you can go by the book, but unless you have that one-on-one experience, it transformed the way that you think. So I like to think about it like becoming a doctor. It's you can study, you can know all the ins and outs, but until you work with people, that's why they have residential programs. Before you get and pay the big bucks, you're getting that hands-on experience, and then you're able to take that experience, build your knowledge, and then when you step out on your own, because you are on your own, you don't have anybody to piggyback off of. You're literally sailing by yourself. So I had resources to go back to. I still had contact with my professors. I had contact with the within the organization I was working in, other people who had more years on experience, gaining from their knowledge. And yeah, it's, I would say, absolutely 100% important. So internships, side hustle jobs, shadowing people, all of that definitely played a role.
Yeah, and also, beginning of the year we had a doctor on here,
Mhm.
a local doctor, and she went to med school. She's one of the only Black GI doctors in the state. But she said that what misses from a lot of business owners is they don't ever learn the business aspect. So how much of a learning curve was it? Obviously, you had the coaching and the health all down pat. So how much of a learning curve
Yeah,
was it on the financial business side for you to learn being a business owner?
it was a struggle. And I would, to be 100% honest, it's still a little bit of a struggle. It's not my cup of tea. So I definitely had to, somebody's told me is know what you know what you don't know, and know who knows what you don't know.
Absolutely.
And so it's definitely been a huge learning curve to just learn from other entrepreneurs. I took a lot of business classes on the side because I was not a business major at all. So I had to take a lot of extra courses and looking at other people and who's doing something similar to what I was doing as mentors and asking them like behind the scenes, how do you delegate? If I'm not good at marketing, like I'm gonna spend all my time on marketing and not on what I'm passionate about. So being able to outsource when I can with income to be able to do that. But it's definitely, I know my program it was a miss completely, even in the certifications that I took. So um, thankfully, my husband now, he's more into a business mindset. So partnering with him was a huge, like, I'm very grateful for that. But oh my gosh, it's learning that. I would say if I could go back and do it over, minoring in business would have been a major plus for
Yeah,
sure.
and I hear a lot of people say that even if you aren't 100% sure you're going to go into business, if you have a degree that requires a minor, business is the best one to
Yes.
get because it's so universal, and any company is going to want somebody with some
Mhm.
kind of business background to help in the company culture. Now, tell us a little bit about what all do and we, like I said, we've looked at the website. So, what all is it
Mhm.
that you sell? You have the essential oils, you have the jewelry, you have the virtual
Mhm.
yoga studio, you have the meal plans. So, what
Mhm.
is it exactly that your company does to bring all that together?
Yeah. So so basically, Loving Me Healthy, we're trying to bring a more holistic approach to wellness. We know that diet doesn't do it alone. We know that exercise doesn't do it alone. We also know, I call them primary foods. Um, Outside of the health, it's your relationships with people, your career, all that plays a role in your overall well-being. And so if your life feels out of balance, we help bring that balance with first loving yourself, and you have to be your best self in order to help everybody else out. So self-care and self-love is definitely the number one thing that we focus on because you can't pour from an empty cup. And so just helping building up that confidence, building up you so that you can be your best self to others.
What a great analogy! I never heard that. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Mhm.
And you're being super humble here, but what are some so what is tell us about these essential oils because that's all new to me. I'm not an oil person, but tell us about
Yeah.
what essential oils do. Like, how did you get into that? Because I'm kind of curious myself on how the essential oils work.
Yeah. So essential oils are aromatherapy. So a lot of just ancient, I would say, history and people who study a lot of plants, all essential, well, I would say all, but high quality essential oils come from plants, and so they have healing properties to them. And some of it can be very physical healing properties. Some of it can be more emotional. A lot of it can be mental. And so some scents has certain benefits. So for example, I got into essential oils after running a marathon. I ran my first marathon, and my friend, and my friend, she gave me an essential oil. It's called, which one did she give me? It's called Ortho something. I forget which one that was, but it helps with muscle recovery. So with aches and joint pain, it helped just relieve that. So you can think of it like an icy hot, but more of it's a plant based. So it's a little bit of a holistic approach. But lavender is another good oil that I stay. So you can see my little stash up there.
Wow.
I stay stocked on, and it helps with relaxation. It helps with sleep. It helps with just different health benefits. And you can do it topically, so you can just rub it on your skin because your skin absorbs. It absorbs everything that you put on your body. So you can do that. You can do a diffuser. So just the aromatherapy help bring in those natural healing properties, help signal to your mind to relax, help your breathing. There's another one that can help with that. And so just different, I guess, an approach. I wouldn't say a substitute, but you can think about like medication kind of. Just to help in aiding in your health, overall health.
Well, I think it is kind of like medication, because with the market you have, people are growing more and more skeptical of pharmaceuticals. So you're offering an alternative to that, and your market is really going to pick up. Because I think you do a great job of showing how passionate you are about it. Because I tell in class, if you're passionate about what you're selling, you're able to make a profit off of it, because it's obvious. Obvious, have the knowledge. It's obvious you have the passion, and you know what you're talking about. So you have, I think you're one of the nicest people I've ever met. So you have that nice personality where, you can say, look, I can make, we're trying to make your life better from a holistic standpoint. So it really is like an all-encompassing product. So it is a really cool concept.
Thank you.
I do have some questions from the students, and all these are entrepreneurship students. Some are really interested in getting their own business, some maybe for a side hustle. But, we always say you can be a good employee while thinking like an entrepreneur, because
absolutely,
you don't have the same risk, but you can still have the same profit and the same rewards. Now, this is Corlin Murray. She's a senior, and she asked, how did you decide to make a connection between physical health and emotional and mental health?
Oh, good question. I think, well, number one, through my experience with my previous job and through my education. So the human body, we're very interconnected. We are made up of just health, mentality, and everything. So one affects the other. I think I like to think about like a tripod, that if you have a three-legged stool and you neck one out, something's going to be off balance. And just through my previous work, I saw the connection to where when somebody was stressed, guess what? Their behaviors, overeat or undereat, that affected their health. It wasn't stressful about the food itself, but it was stressful about their life circumstances or the situations that they were in or the decisions that they had to make. So a lot of people like to think that it's only like therapy, that it's only that when your health is going out of control and you don't know why. So people try to start diets, which that adds on another stressor. And so when you can step back and think of how, oh, this can cause this, which is which is a result of this, the human body is just interconnected. That's just who we are. So trying to see that as three different areas in life. And if we can get our mental needs met, we can get our emotional needs met, and then our health needs met, then look at how balanced you feel and how, I would say, back to normal or back to your normal self you feel. And from my own personal experience, definitely that comes into play too.
Absolutely. And again, that's another great analogy. I mean, you're killing it with the analogies today. I love it. This is Rodarius Williams. He's a junior, and he's got two questions. One of them is, what are some things that you feel that you can improve in your business? And do you ever see yourself having a physical place like a storefront?
Yes. What I think I can improve, I would say outsourcing for sure. I can't do everything, and you only have 24 hours in a day. And there's some things I like to do and some things I don't. So delegating, hiring help, hiring volunteers, interns to help me. I feel like I will go a lot further than where I am currently now. And then what was the second half of the question?
Do you ever see yourself having a
Oh,
store
yes.
or a physical location for your business?
Mhm. Yeah, that is a huge dream of mine. I do want to own several different wellness centers. I would say the bigger dream is to have different professionals come a part of that, to have a counselors, to have I would say the areas of wellness is your mental, your emotional, your physical, and the spiritual aspect of it. So having different departments within those coming together under one roof would definitely be a dream. And I'm working towards that actually. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's a great step. Now this is Christina Robinson, and she's a junior, and I know you are a Christian-based company.
Mhm.
So she is asking, what made you want to connect Christianity to yoga?
Oh, good question. I get this a lot. And so I would say this. I love the human body, and yoga has so many different benefits. So I first just researched if there, because I know religion and yoga kind of go hand in hand. So I researched because I come first from a Christian background before yoga. I researched to see if there was a faith-based, Christian-based yoga program and certification. So that's where I started. Once I found that and started becoming educating just about yoga, I realized that yoga itself, even though some may agree to disagree, but yoga itself is not a religion. You compare different religions to it, and I would say different practices to it as well, as far as the spirituality part of it. So when I think of yoga, I think of your asana, your stretching, your breathing, your meditating, and then you can bring in that spiritual component, whatever you believe in, to help get you further into a deepened practice. So if you're sitting there, you can in meditation, you can pray to whoever you pray for. For me, is to God. Then that's how it's more of a Christian base. When I meditate, what do I meditate on? Sometimes I do meditate on quotes and inspirations on that, and sometimes I do meditation on scriptures. So it's just I just choose to do it that way so that I can grow in my practice and in my faith as well.
That's awesome. And again, I think that's really cool. You're recognizing the need for it, because if we haven't learned anything else, is that successful entrepreneurs find a need and find a way to fulfill that need. And you're
Mhm.
right. You know, it's if there's a need for it, you need to start it. This is Harmony Williams. She's a sophomore, and she asked, "How has your main priorities changed from when you first started your business to now?"
Oh gosh, it's changed tremendously, and I had to find balance because I could like sometimes I do hyper focus on my business, and now that I have a family, I would say that I just got married 2 years ago, so my priorities definitely have to change just from being just me and being all in to finding work life balance between the two. So I treat it like a business. I'll give myself certain hours to work, and I'm all in. So if I do, I'm such a morning person, so I'll get up 8 to about noon. That's strictly business. I definitely have certain hours that I do certain things for my business. Then I set, pause. I need to do whatever I need to do, and I may get back to it. So I definitely still have set hours for myself so I can hold myself accountable. And when I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm at home, I'm at home.
That's all. And again, you hear so many entrepreneurs say how important that is. You can't make yourself available 24/7. You will absolutely drive yourself crazy.
Boundaries.
All right, this is Jarvis Owsley, and he asked, "How do you build a successful customer base?"
Ooh, good question.
Oh,
So
and
I
he's
would say number one,
junior, by the way. I'm sorry. But yeah, he wants. How do you build a successful customer base?
number one, know who you are targeting. I say know your customer in and out. Um, and for me, I knew that because I was her. So I knew what she struggled with. I knew what her pain point was. And so I was able to speak her language so that when my marketing does get out there, I'm able to use language where somebody else can say, hey, she's talking about me, or hey, that's me, I need that product because that's what I'm struggling with. So definitely, knowing your niche, knowing how they speak, how they think, knowing what the solution to their problem is. And then I utilize social media a lot. Back in the day, you used to do like flyers, and I mean, if you have like, you go to like businesses that could use your services, yeah, go for it. But social media is the biggest thing. And from there, you have to reel them in from a cold market to a warm market. I'm sure you guys probably talked about that a little bit. It's saying get somebody from a stranger, offering something free, let them get a quick result, and then maybe you ask for an email. So then you're building that relationship. So building up relationships, offering high valuable content within those emails. And then within that email, then you can offer them either a soft or a small item, I would say ticket item, or a big ticket item. But they know that they know, like, and trust you. And that's been know, like, and trust. That has been my little, like, I would say my little motivator to getting clients in, for sure.
Well, for somebody who claims they're not a business person, that was some pretty good business advice right there. I mean, that was
I've done that work.
I see. Now this is Michael Williams, and he's a senior, and he asked, what are some of the materials you use in your oils?
Well, I don't make the oils, so I don't know what they use. I just go to a trusted business that has the oils. So yeah, I go with Young Living. There's other good ones called doTERRA. And there's other good ones just around the market. So just make sure that they're high grade and A grade value, so you know that you're getting the most pure oil. They're really hard to make, so I don't attempt.
Well, yeah, and then it's all about having a good vendor, and going back to the previous question, I forgot to mention this. I think it's important too that you create that perceived value. You know, that's what I always, a term I use a lot is perceived value, because again, they see your passion, they see your, that you can relate to what they're going through. So it builds that relationship, and the best type of advertising is the word of mouth. So that will bring referrals, not just in Ohio, but all over. And I mean, and the crazy thing with COVID is that with the yoga, people can do your yoga no matter where they are. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Janelle, we are almost out of time, and but I thank you so much. It's so good to see you.
I know.
I know. I'm sure you really are one of the nicest people I have ever met. It's just crazy. You have such a sweet spirit, and everything that you and your husband are having here, you definitely deserve it. And I'm so happy for you and with you and your family. But before we go, you're a young Black business owner, and you grew up as a young Black woman in America, facing the same challenges that these kids are going to face, because everybody in here with me now is a young Black student. So even if they don't want to go all in like you have, if they just want to be a part-time entrepreneur, or they just want to be an employee, what can they do to be as successful and so inspirational like you have become throughout these last few years?
I would say just be true to who you are and don't change yourself for anybody. I believe that everybody has purpose. I believe that everybody has a gift, and they have a message out to give to the world. And people will want to alter that. People will want to teach you or mold you to who you're supposed to be, but nobody can do you like you. So stay true to who you are, and there's people out there that need what you have, and just believe that wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. Now, before we go, tell us where to find your website.
Yeah, you can go on lovingmehealthy.com. I'm also on social media. So on Instagram, it's loving_me_healthy. You'll find me there. Facebook as well. So
that's awesome. And again, great product and a great concept. And who would have thought that when we met each other in 2008, we'd be doing this right now, 10 years later. But it's just crazy how a life brings, how people come to your life for a reason. And then COVID's got us really good at this. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And again, so happy for you. And hopefully for a safe and healthy delivery for you as well.
Thank you so much. We'll stay in touch for sure.
I will. I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.